very good treat today, and that is we've got Vicki Kunkel here, and she wrote the book Instant Appeal, the 8 primal factors that create blockbuster success. And I think that you're going to really learn a lot today about how you can have content that truly appeals and engages to your target audience. So let me just introduce Vicki a little bit. Vicki is an award-winning social anthropologist and published author who's been recognized as an expert in mass appeal and stickiness by over 200 media outlets. She's applied her instant appeal techniques to products, people, and social causes, and was awarded the Women with Vision Award for applying her anthropology research to winning political campaigns and high-stake court cases. So anyways, welcome, and thank you so much for being here, Vicki.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I just want to jump in and start by having you give us just a brief introduction, if you will, to instant appeal and your kind of your orientation to it.
Okay. Well, the whole purpose for doing this book was I do a lot of presentation programs for clients as well as a lot of marketing programs. And one of the things that I found over and over again was people were so focused on their branding and their corporate message and their mission and vision and values that it became a rather boring, static dissertation of facts and figures and nothing that really engaged people. So one of the things when I was working with some clients that really got me interested in the whole behavioral economics concept, which is what the book is based on, is, well, why do people align with some brands and not others? Why do people like some politicians who may clearly be not qualified for the job over other more qualified people? And once I really drilled down into it, I found there are a lot of factors that are pretty much pre-programmed in our DNA. You know, why we do like certain things just instinctively and why we instinctively dislike or repel other things.
Right. Excellent. And why don't we go into some of those factors and just, you know, the folks that, you know, mostly work in online marketing, small and mid-sized businesses don't have a huge budget. So I'm looking for kind of on each of the factors that as we cover them, just looking for, you know, how can this apply and how can they, you know, give a couple ideas, how could they leverage it as they think about their own online marketing or their content to really create that instant appeal with their audiences. Okay?
Okay, great. That sounds good. And I also have some new research that I've been working on that I can throw in there as well. So as we go through those, I'll be happy to add that too.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so the first one is this whole deal that looks at you talk about ducklings and defects and the fact that the vulnerable and ugly can work really well or work to your advantage. And sometimes we don't like to kind of expose some of that stuff, but you call it the conspicuous flaw factor. So how can we think about that in terms of our content or leveraging that in our marketing?
Well, one of the ways we can think about it is in our websites and our brochures. So many people come to me and say, oh, Vicki, I can't afford, I don't have a $20,000 budget to have a perfect website. And I said, well, that's good, because a perfect website would actually hurt you from a marketing standpoint. Case in point, Craigslist. Pretty ugly site, right? Just text, black text, white background. Look at how popular that site is. And that is because the reason we are drawn to simple websites and websites that are not so flashy is because if something's too perfect, if something's too flashy, it's suspect. It raises a subconscious flag with us saying, okay, who's behind this? It's a little too slick. It's about like when you meet somebody and they have a silver tongue and they're just a great orator and a fantastic speaker. They're a little too slick and a little too perfect. It sort of makes you think, nobody's that perfect. So what's going on? When's the other shoe going to fall?
Right, right. I loved in your book when you were talking about how you can really leverage some of that. You know, you can't. You know, you don't want to look completely amateur, but there's this
Correct.
fine line between totally polished and perfect and amateur. And so it's somewhere in there that you've got to sort of find out. Can you know, Craigslist is one example, and that's I would say you're right. It's a fairly ugly site, but yet very useful. What are some other ways, like in content and stuff, that you've seen people use that conspicuous or the conspicuous flaw factor?
Yeah, one way.